You know, many people think that purpose is this big, mysterious thing that you have to climb a mountain to find. But I realized that that's not always the case. Honestly, I had the most graphic realization of what my purpose is on a dusty street in Lagos, accidentally. Now, on today's video, I'm going to be sharing the story of how I, in quotes, stumbled on my purpose and how you also can find your purpose in the little things that happen around you. My name is Goodness Ezeh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel and click on the notifications button so that you get notified when there's new content on the channel, and like the video so of course the algorithm shows even more people. But before I get into my story, I want to state this very clearly. There is a major misconception that many people have of purpose that I think blurs the lines and makes it very difficult for people to actually understand what purpose is. Many people think that purpose itself is exclusive to them. You see, many people have the opinion that purpose is for them, like purpose is exclusive to them. That there is something specific, something special that God wants them to do. That is not very true. A part of it is true, but not all of it is true. Purpose starts with God. So, what I'm about to share with you, when I found this out, it absolutely transformed how I saw the concept of purpose. Right? And here's the thing, purpose starts with God. That's the truth. Purpose absolutely starts with God. It is the manufacturer of a product that is able to tell you exactly why he made that product, what the product is meant for. And that's why sometimes you get a product and you might not exactly understand how that product works until you go and read the pamphlet that is maybe in the pack of the product or something. And it's when you read that pamphlet, that pamphlet contains the notes of the manufacturer to you, the consumer or the user of that product. By reading that pamphlet, you understand the mind of the manufacturer. That's how it works for purpose. Your purpose starts with God. And the beginning of your purpose is to know God. To know God, the one who made you. He's your manufacturer, he's your producer, he made you, right? And the first part of purpose is knowing God. And the second part of it is to make him known. After you've known God, then make him known, right? So purpose is not exclusive. Purpose is not that one thing that only you ever would get to do. Purpose is to know God and to make him known. And now, but the way we then express that purpose, that's where the uniqueness comes in. Some people will get to express it in business, some will get to express it in ministry, others in creativity. But how about mine? I didn't even really know it. But sometime in 2019, it came to my realization that it had been showing since I was a child. Now, growing up, I've always been drawn to children and young people. Children, adolescents, and all of that. I've always been drawn to them. It wasn't really something I planned. It just felt really natural. I always loved children. I loved to be around them. Also, teaching has always been part of my life. I've always taught one way or the other. My first job ever was teaching in a primary school. I've taught in primary schools, I've taught in secondary schools. And you know what the funny thing is? My parents have also always been teachers. So it sort of runs in the family. But even then, I still didn't call that purpose. I just thought, I'm good with kids. I like teaching. I know how to teach. I enjoy teaching. I'm passionate about my students when I teach. And yeah, that's just it. There's nothing purpose or purposeful about that, I always thought. What I didn't realize was that there was something deeper happening to me. Whenever I taught, I wasn't just trying to pass information. I wasn't just trying to pass head knowledge. I genuinely cared about my students from my heart. I felt drawn to their hearts. I wanted to understand them and help them in every way possible. I didn't know it yet, but purpose was already speaking. Now, fast forward to 2019. One beautiful evening, I was sitting in a very dusty local street in Lagos, Nigeria. And it was evening time, like I said, and all the kids had come back from school and they were just on the street playing, all the kind of games that they play. And I just sat there watching them. It was nothing deep, it was nothing dramatic. It's just a normal evening play that children would usually play. So they were not just children, they were just like they They were not just like infants, like they were children, young adolescents, right? Even teenagers. And I found myself watching them. I kept watching them for some reason. I got drawn to them so much. And suddenly I felt a strong pull in my chest, in my heart. Almost like compassion, but a little bit heavier. I just felt myself. It was like I was just drawn into them like a vision almost. And I just kept looking at them, and my heart was almost tearing itself apart in ways that I couldn't really understand. And something in me kept asking, what could be going on in these children's hearts? What could they be going through? Are they actually fine? Are they actually happy? How can I help them? Are their parents taking care of them? Are they actually learning in their schools? Are they being influenced by bad friends? I mean, I just kept asking myself all these questions, and I just sat there watching them, drawn into every detail of the experience they were having while they were playing. But there was just something about that moment that connected so deeply with me. And as I sat there, my mind started to go back to my childhood, to all the times that kids naturally just gravitated towards me, down to the schools where I taught. And interestingly, at that time in my life, I was teaching in a school at that time too. So my mind started going to all those things, the schools I taught, to the way I always felt responsible for my students, and actually even to the way my students always came towards me. I don't want to say liked me, but I would like to say they felt like they could trust me. They felt like I was always there for them, even when I wasn't even as intentional about it. And with all those thoughts flowing through my mind, at that moment it clicked. I'm like, this is it. There's a reason why I have this passion. There's a reason why I have this burden. There's a reason. It has to be for a reason. It can't be a mistake. It can't be a mistake. And just like that, I opened my eyes. I snapped out of the mini vision, if you want to call it that. And I realized that this is it. I was called to do this. I am meant to teach. I am meant to help kids. I'm meant to help young people. This is what it means. It occurred to me. This is why I teach. This is why children matter to me. This is why I can't ignore the younger generation. This is part of my calling. Of course, it's not the whole thing. There are so many other things that I discovered later on, right? But this was the first time in my life it came to me like that. I saw my passion for something. I saw how burdened my heart is about something. And I realized that this is purpose. This is my calling. This is the expression of my purpose. This is how I'm going to make God known. I'm going to make God known to the younger generation. And from there to the ends of the earth. This is purpose. I discovered purpose in the most ordinary moment, by accident. And this is the truth. Many times, purpose doesn't come with thunder and lightning. It doesn't come, with an earthquake or anything. It comes in those subtle moments. It comes when you look inwardly. It comes when you think about your passion. It was Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory who said that one of the ways to find purpose is finding out what makes you angry. What is that thing that makes you angry? What is that thing that keeps you up at night? What is that thing that when you see, you can't take your eyes off it? What is that thing that brings your passion out? What is that thing that comes naturally to you? What are those burdens that you cannot explain? What are those things that are ingrained in the patterns of your life story? You feel there is something that is calling you to that thing, but you just can't seem to explain it. Purpose is not just what you are good at. It's beyond it. Purpose is what moves you. Purpose is what makes you cry. Purpose is what breaks you. Purpose is what makes you want to serve. That day I realized that God had been pointing me to young people all my life, that God had been pointing me to teaching all my life, that the compassion I felt in my heart was not just a mistake, it was there for a reason, that the desire to understand them, the desire to help them wasn't there by mistake. It was there for a reason. Till now, I still teach in schools, and whenever I teach, I feel that And whenever I teach, I feel that same passion, I feel that same responsibility, I feel that same love. I don't just teach to teach. I teach because it's my purpose to help, to guide, to inspire, and build young people. Ask yourself today, what is that thing that keeps me up at night? What is that passion that I have that I'm always drawn to? Like Dr. Miles Monroe said, what is that thing that makes me angry? What is that thing that keeps me up? What is that thing that I can't seem to explain but always bothers me every time? You might want to pay attention to it because, like I said, that is how you find purpose. Take a look at your life. Your purpose leaves clues. There are patterns, like I said earlier, there are patterns around your life from your childhood till this point in your life. There are patterns that you can recognize and know that there is something God wants me to do here. Your burdens are often indicators to what your purpose is, to what your calling is. And it's not something you just invent, it's something that is planted in you. God Himself planted it in you. And it's high time you find it out. Yeah, that's my story. Sometimes God reveals purpose in very ordinary moments. But the key thing is you have to be sensitive. You have to be sensitive enough to know what God is trying to point out. You have to, be observant enough to know what God is putting in your heart. If this blessed you, like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share with your friends. Share with someone that you know that they really might need to hear this. Click on the notifications button so that you get notified when there's new content on the channel. And drop a comment. What's that one thing that draws you as well? What is that one passion that you realized or you haven't even realized is your calling? What is that one thing that gets to you every time? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know and I'll be there to have a chat with you about it. Thank you for watching. My name is Goodness Ezeh and this has been Storytime with Goodness Ezeh.